Hi there, welcome to Dogecoin Wyckoff Weekly. So, after last week's sharing, this week's the price range seems to be even narrower. So let's take a quick look and see how Dogecoin's price is developing. So we're looking at the weekly chart of Dogecoin, and this week, after 4 weeks of red candles, which we kind of are expecting it. So let me enlarge this a little so it's easier for mobile device users. After this automatic rally, we know the price will somehow come down a bit before it tries to go up and retest whether there's sufficient demand again. So that's the big picture situation within this Wyckoff stage, because I am thinking after the previous buying climax and then coming down after a couple of tests, Dogecoin is basically within the accumulation cycle already, even though it's higher than the accumulation cycle back in 2024. If we look at 2022, the selling climax was more or less the same, but then there was subsequent price drop to some further test levels before it goes up again. So it lasted for 2 years, that particular accumulation cycle, a very long one run before we get into the 2024 distribution cycle, and then a quick accumulation then like last year and earlier this year. That's the new distribution cycle and a buying climax set. So back to the recent state, given the big picture backdrop, currently, like I shared last week, so we've got this downward flag over here, this light blue box. If you're into candlestick patterns analysis, this is basically like people say this flag is bullish. However, I mentioned many times, like in my past videos, bullish doesn't mean it will shoot up to the moon or to whatever beyond the galaxy. Yeah, there would be a chance that the price break outside of this box, and that's it. It doesn't say how high it goes. So be mindful of the simple term bullish. After a long period of like price drop, people would think, oh, it has dropped enough, and that's my price point that I will get in. So that's why we've got a little bit of bounce. However, we have seen over here, right? We're seeing it over here over the past 5 days. Those red candles, especially these 2 days, Tuesday and Wednesday. Like I mentioned last week, even if the price break out, we'll have to see whether it can break outside of this blue box. This blue box is basically a playground zone. That's the term I use. People like to use trading range. That's somewhere between 13 cents to 19 cents or 20 cents, like give and take. So that's from early March this year till early May. For these 2 months, the price was trading within these two boundaries. Now, on May 30th, we've re-entered this zone. So the past 2 weeks, the trading has been occurring within the top half of this range. Currently, it seems it's finding support on the yellow line. That's like a center line I drawn from these. You see a lot of these candle activities over here, right? So that's how I determine where the line should be. Interestingly, just for your reference, we can also extend it to even longer time period. However, that's just for reference. The more relevant is closer in time. So today and over the past 3 days, the price seems to have found a little bit of support on this yellow line that's around 16 cents 80 or 16 cents 90 roughly. So if like whoever's trading Doge thinks that, oh, this is like a reasonable price given the current setting of like whatever the world's economy, war, or big meetings going on with the G7 summit. If nothing particularly shocking, this is going to be the range. However, if good news come out from the G7, the price can go outside of this blue box and test the white box. This white line is actually a big box. This is a longer term playground zone that I have drawn since like 2021. So that's the positive scenario. Negative scenario, like people are disappointed what comes out from the G7 summit, or like there's no solid things they say after the summit, then, or some other factors like the wars getting worse in Middle East, or Russian and Ukraine war, then the price will obviously test the lower half of the box. So I've already mentioned this blue box is around 13 cents 50 to roughly 20 cents. That's the range, like immediate range we're talking about. But once after it broke outside of this blue box, I've already mentioned this top white line over here around 22 cents. If you ask if it goes outside of this blue box, what's the next level? That's interesting. Let me go back to the weekly chart. It's pretty deep, I would say. It may go as low as 10 or 11 cents, because you can see right here, right? So if we go back to this chart, this is already at the 13 cents level, this blue box that I've extended from here. If we want to draw another support line, it's probably at this level at around 10 cents 50. You see all these activities over here and this, right? So if I were to draw a support line, it will be right there. So that's why I said around 10 cents if it broke outside of this 13 cents boundary of the blue box. So let me keep this support line, so next time we have a reference, I'll keep it just on this time frame. So when we get to the daily chart, we'll be able to see all these 5 lines. So the white box at top, the blue box 3 lines, the center line, and the top and bottom boundary, and also this new support line that we've just drawn. So that's all for Doge for now. I'll move on to